Karam. I founded Seeqnce roughly 3 years ago. And Makram Raidan, Michel Maushi, Fadi Bizri, and Maroon Najm are my partners. Roughly a year ago, we got together and we decided, let's try to do something crazy, not because, we're crazy, but because we need a reason to stay in this country. So we're all very avid entrepreneurs. We love creating things. We love creating businesses and opportunities. We've done our own, and we decided, how about we create these opportunities for others? So we set out and we created the Seeqnce Accelerator Program. 5 guys to create an opportunity for 8 companies to go from an idea to investment ready, which is today, over the course of 6 months. We started the idea, we built it, we went out, we got investors to support us, private investors who supported us in a very, very difficult time in Lebanon, considering what we've been through. And we successfully accelerated these companies over the course of 6 months. Along these 6 months, we lost one of them, so we started with 8, now we're 7, which is, by the way, a very, very good number considering the usual dropout rate in accelerator programs. And to be honest, what they've achieved in these 6 months is not something that I could talk about myself. I'll let them speak for themselves on the behalf of their own companies. I can assure you that on a globally competitive level, they are as extraordinary as it gets in terms of what accelerators around the world produce. We have companies that in the first month of their operational existence have created over $20,000 of sales. We have companies that have 50,000 registered users in just 1 month of operations. We have companies that have been written about in the press, from The Economist to TechCrunch to Wall Street Journal and so on. And these companies have only existed for 6 months, and that was when the idea was formed. This is what acceleration is. Now, I can talk for hours. I'd rather not. I'd like to just thank, first of all, Bank Audi for providing us with this amazing venue and hosting this. They have been one of my greatest supporters, so they have helped me get to where I am today. And I want to thank very, very strongly IDAL, the Investment Development Authority of Lebanon. They have been supporting entrepreneurship and SMEs in ways that I didn't know was possible in Lebanon. It's actually quite shocking. Okay? Of course, Dr. Aitene. And I want to thank Minister Sehnaoui, which thank you for making it. It's considering what's going on in the country, for actually making all of this possible. I know it's weird, but if it weren't for the internet, we couldn't have internet companies coming out of Lebanon. So by making it cheaper, faster, more accessible, we now have a 50 megabit line at Seeqnce, which a year and a half ago would have cost us $50,000 a month. Now it costs us $1,000 a month. So thank you, Mr. Sehnaoui. I'd like to invite you to say a word if you want, okay? And then Idal will be telling us a few things.
Thank you, Samir. I prefer that the stars of the event are the startups. I just want to say that I really believe that we have an incredible potential in Lebanon, and the proof is going to be shown now. But I think we can do much more. The creativity potential, some of it already succeeded, and some of it will come out. We need to believe in ourselves. The young generation needs to believe in itself, and we need to put our hands all together. I mean, the full ecosystem, from finance to regulations to taxation to infrastructure. It all has to come together the right way so that we enable this potential. And this is what we are trying to do, of course, at the ministry, but I think we should all do that. All sectors, private, public sector, individuals, and investors, we should all do that, because digital economy is one of the promising sectors, the only few remaining promising sectors in Lebanon, so we should not let this chance pass us by. And I was saying at the opening of the Beirut Creative Cluster 2 days ago that with the instability going on politically and hopefully not on the security level, but who knows, I'd like to take the image of the geek that can live inside his own world and shield himself from what's happening outside, a little bit like in the Matrix, where you put the helmet on and you are in another world. I think digital economy gives us a chance in Lebanon to be able to shield ourselves from a little bit of instability or whatever, and actually produce and perform and be hooked to the whole planet from the space, the clusters, the accelerators, and actually sell millions of applications like Poo and Dermendar. So really this is the sector which we should all protect, shield from whatever is happening outside. And people like Samir and all the accelerator team are people who believed it and took the risk and succeeded. So chapeau bas for your success, and we're behind you.
Idal?
Thank you, Samer. Actually, this is the first time maybe that the government is supporting something crazy. So, and hopefully we'll be supporting more of that. Actually, I'm just going to start by a quote that President Obama said in his State of the Union address in 2012. He said that, after all, innovation is what America is all about. And new jobs are created in startups. This is where we have to go. This is where we want to be in Lebanon. And I really believe if we, the public sector, work with the private sector closely to accelerate and support success to entrepreneurs, I think we can get there, and we can be one of the star countries actually who are supporting, especially governments supporting startups. What I want to say today to startups is that the government is here to help you. Probably this is the first time that you really see that the government is serious about helping startups, and we're actually very serious. And maybe this is the first time that Idal is very active with his chairman and the team in putting in place a program and amending regulation and putting in place decrees to help startups benefit from our series of exemption, especially that you can get tax breaks for 10 years if you apply to Idal. And there are other programs we're putting in place, especially the business linkage program, where we can help you actually access companies outside, access entrepreneurs and VCs outside. So we have a bunch of programs that you can benefit from, and the team is here to help you more understand what we do. So basically, the government is here, the government will always be here, and hopefully we can work together to bypass situation and graduate successful startups. Thank you.
Okay, so without further ado, we're going to be showcasing 7 startups, one after the other. It's a little fast-paced. I'll explain to you how the structure so that you can follow through. We start off with roughly 5 minutes of a presentation, 2 minutes of a demo, and then the floor is open to questions. Remember, these are very young startups, so do ask them questions because that's where you will get most of the information. Once the roughly 7 minutes of questions are up, another startup comes down. Within an hour and a half, everything should be over, and then we'll have a few snacks, and then you can continue the discussions with any startups that you may be interested in getting more information about. So we're going to start off with Beit Beitak. Beit Beitak is actually, just give you a bit of a heads up, please, Marwan Harmouche. Beit Beitak is an Arab online real estate marketplace, and I think Marwan sells it best. So, Marwan?
Hi. We are creating Beit Beitak, a premium online platform for the Middle East for real estate. We decided to create Beit Beitak because we believe that the system of searching for a property for rent or for sale in the region is broken. Currently, buyers and renters are using inefficient ways to search for their property. They take their car, they drive in their region of interest looking for signs of properties for rent or for sale. They ask their friends and family members if they know somebody who has a property for rent or for sale. This doesn't scale a lot. And they rely on newspaper listings that don't give sufficient information of the property in order to make a proper call on whether or not this property is interested for them before getting to visit the property. As for the property owners, they also are having problems because they are using inefficient way, especially when they don't want to go the brokerage way. They hang a sign of their contact information on the property. They rely on their personal network, and they rely on newspaper listings that don't let them give sufficient information of the property. An online solution would definitely solve all of these problems. However, current real estate websites don't have an easy-to-use interface. There's a lot of listings that have expired on them, and sometimes they lack transparency. They don't know, users don't know if this listing is posted by a broker or posted by an owner. They lack transparency on several levels. This is why we decided to create an efficient, easy-to-use, and transparent real estate website. The interface of BitBayTech is map-based, and it follows the best practices in the US, such as the top leading website, Zoomper, Zillow, and Trulia. On BitBayTech, it is easy to filter through a high number of properties quickly, and the property owner can showcase a lot of information of the property easily and efficiently. We have also systems in place to make sure that the listings stay up to date on BitBayTech. And for the property owners, they can have a high quality online presence quickly. I'll present to you the team. Tanya is the creative director of BitBayTech. She is responsible for the amazing job she did on the platform design. Amjad Haddad is the content manager of BitBayTech. He keeps an eye on the quality of the placement, and I am responsible for the business development of the project. As for Tech Gazelle, it is the company for which we outsource our product development. That was for the team. BitBayTech has been live for 2 months in Lebanon, and during this time we have achieved more than 1,000 up-to-date listings on our platform. We have achieved up to 13,000 actions by day on our platform, and we know that we are providing value to our users by the 5,000 contacts from the buyers and renters to connect with the property owners, because we know that we gave them value through the contact we created and the facility we created. If we take a look at the competitors in the region, none of them is offering the values that BitBayTech is offering. None of them is a managed marketplace. This means that the user cannot curate the listings that are on the website. iCarMap is not totally map-based. Their listings are not, there's a lot of websites that don't have up-to-date listings, and some of them don't stress on the direct link that we are trying to create. Our business model relies on 2 revenue channels, the feature listing and the pay-by listing. The main difference between them is that the feature listing are a way for developers to showcase an entire project with multiple units on our platform. As for the pay-by listing, it is a way for the individual renters, or individual sellers or landlords to highlight their unit compared to the basic plan. Our next steps are to grow to UAE and Jordan, to build the BitBayTech mobile app, and to have 10,000 listings on BitBayTech by the end of the year. This is our revenue model. We're expecting $8 million of profit in year 4, and we expect to be cash flow positive in the middle of year 1. We are therefore now, in order for BitBayTech to hit its milestones, we are asking for $500,000 for 15% of the company. I will now run you through, show you the BitBayTech demo. It will show you the interface of BitBayTech. I'll explain it, and I'll take your questions after that. Thank you. This is the map-based interface of BitBayTech. First, the user will get to choose between the rent or the sales side, depending on what he is searching. On top of the map, we can see the groupings. The groupings are the group of properties in this specific region. If the user presses on the grouping, he will go to a deeper zoom level where he can see the listings. The listings that show the camera icons are the ones that displays pictures. Just above the map, we can see the filtering information, the price range, the number of bedrooms, and the size range. These are the most important filtering information to filter the properties that don't match the search criteria of the user. When the user press on a listing, the map doesn't change. There's a pop-up that opens showing for the user the main information. Here the user can make a call on whether or not this property is interesting for him without changing anything on the screen. If the user wants to see more information, he can get to a deeper a place where he gets all the information. He can see the picture in a bigger scale and get directly the contact information of the property owner. This was for the buyers and renters side. As for the property owners, they can post their listing on BitBayTak by pressing on the post listing button that is just on top of the map at the right top hand corner. I'm open to any of your questions now. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, very, very nice interface. Have you considered users rating real estate developers or some sort of scale for someone who comes new, and maybe also to build up credibility for your site and be more sure that people are going to be compliant?
Okay. Our users will be interacting with the system, and this is part of our later product. That means that user will be able to curate the content and rate the content and comment on a property to say the information on the property is giving the information on the website is the right information of the property. That means
yes, but I'd rather you rate your partners. The user rates your partners. لأنه the property إنه اشترى أو استأجر خلاص done deal. He can rate your service and he can rate the person, the partner that you have promoted on your site actually. I think that would be a plus.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Danny Hamla. First, I really like the interface. I did surf the website and it was very easy. I have some comments that I gave you offline, but from the presentation, I didn't get the business model. If you could talk about it, what's the ratio of paid listing as opposed to free listing? How much would you charge? What's your, those kind of parameters that I would like to hear about.
As a reminder, the business model is divided into the pay-by listing and the featured listing. The featured listing are for developers to have an entire project, and the pay-by listing are for individuals. Now, individuals in our region are paying to post their property $24 to post it in newspapers. We know that they are ready to pay once they get real value. This is why our plans are to charge for the pay-by listings $10 by week, which is much less than putting it in a newspaper. And for the gold and silver placements that are the featured listing for developer, it depends on the region where it is posted. That means that the gold listing, if it is posted in Beirut, will cost around $1,700 by month. As for the silver placement, it will cost $150 by month also. So the gold level is much visible because it goes on top of the map. Any user that goes to the website will see the gold placement. It's just next to the groupings, and we just sell a limited number of these placements.
How are you going to promote your site?
We are currently promoting the website through online marketing. There's also a very interesting buzz regarding our website. The word is spreading, and people are speaking about BitBayTak currently.
Can I just ask a question?
Okay.
It won't be recorded, sorry.
Okay.
So I'm Hossam from the Cairo Angels, an angel investor group in, well, Cairo. But my question is around competition. What stops your major real estate players here in Lebanon just developing this for themselves? And if your product is stand out in terms of competitive differentiation, Why take it to a small market like UAE? Just take it to Southern Europe.
Okay. Our competitive advantage is the information we gathered during these 6 months on what are the values for our users and how we learn to enter a new market. Also on the differences on several levels. There's some information that other websites don't have in order to shift to our interface, as the latitude and the longitude, in order to go to a map-based interface. Can you just remind me the second question, please?
Why target the Middle East? Why not go to Europe, much bigger market?
Okay, because the idea is that there's a gap in the Middle East now at this level. There is no platform that is solving this need. There are in Europe some platforms. This is why the gap is in the Middle East and more in our region. There is no main real estate platform tailored for residential in our region. People are searching.
There's one in Egypt doing exactly the same.
Yes, that's true. But we are offering other values than the ones that are already open by the interface that is much simpler and the content that is on the website. Our main value is to get quality to the user and make sure that the listings are up to date. And the one that is in Egypt doesn't curate the information through the user. So users cannot curate the interface and interact with the listing.
We can take one more question if there are any left.
Does that answer your question? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So next up.
Thank you.
Next up, اتعرف. We have Cedric Malouf on stage. اتعرف is the first serious Arab online dating platform. Okay, please no puns or jokes. Okay, this is serious.
Hi, my name is Cedric Malouf, co-founder of اتعرف.com, the first serious online dating platform tailored to the Arabic-speaking world. اتعرف operates in a growing multi-billion-dollar industry. If we take the US market, for instance, the online dating industry generated over $2 billion of revenues in 2012. And despite the maturity of the US market, it is expected to grow by 15% annually. Furthermore, all major players in the US market are valued at hundreds of millions of dollars. So اتعرف entered this very lucrative industry by targeting a huge market that has growing demand and no adapted offer. The Arabic market counts over 30 million unmarried adult internet users. And this number will increase significantly given the rapid growth of the youth demographic and the internet penetration in the region. The region's culture, traditions, and strong immigration makes Arab single very difficult to meet, which intensifies the demand. Fortunately for us, the existing offer is not adapted to the market, with only a couple of websites in Arabic and none really catering to the culture of the region. This is why no dating website has truly succeeded in this market yet. اتعرف in the past 6 months was able to understand the complexity of the market, tailor its value proposition accordingly, and will claim the leadership in the upcoming months. The two main problems اتعرف has tackled to access this untapped market were: one is getting the credibility as a reliable dating platform to differentiate ourselves from the existing competitors. The second problem was understanding the culture and cater to its particularities for our user to feel comfortable interacting on our cutting-edge platform. اتعرف found the solutions by one, getting inspired by the most successful dating websites abroad and introducing for the first time in the region a scientific approach to online dating, meaning that every user will have to answer a full psychological test and we will automatically match him through our algorithm with the most suitable profiles. It is called affinity matchmaking. The test was built with a renowned Arab psychologist. To get accepted by the culture we are targeting, Etaraf innovated and introduced for the first time in the industry what we call the progressive intimacy sharing, meaning that all profiles are anonymous with a blurred picture, and the user has the opportunity to progressively reveal his identity to the users of his choice when he feels comfortable. After 1 month of pre-launch testing Etaraf in our targeted market, our numbers prove that the implemented solutions are the key to conquer the MENA market. Indeed, with only 2 weeks of user acquisition, we were able to have 30,000 active users logging in and interacting regularly on our platform, 50,000 registered users, 300,000 messages were exchanged on our platform, 400,000 visits, and over 2 million page views. And the best of all is that our users are equally distributed between men and women. To maintain our growth, Etaraf will have to overcome 2 challenges in the near future. One is reinforcing our user retention by continuing to release weekly features, and of course by going mobile with a Etaraf application that is under construction now for Android and iPhone and is expected to be released in June. The second challenge is to keep our edge over the competition by scaling rapidly and massively. Etaraf will have 5 million active users by 2016. To meet our objectives, Etaraf needs $700,000 of investment. We are already at the late stage of getting a kafalat loan of $200,000 expected in the upcoming weeks, and we still need to raise $500,000 of investment. 60% will go in the execution of our user acquisition strategy, 25% to maintain our quality service by recruiting and growing our team, and the remaining 15% will cover our operational expenses. According to our forecast, Etaraf will be cash flow positive by mid-2015. And for every dollar invested today in Etaraf, it will be worth $10 in 5 years. By investing in Etaraf, you're also investing in a very talented team and very motivated team. I will start by Rakan Numr, the CTO of Etaraf. He published 3 papers in top-tier IEEE journals. He presented it in international conferences around the world and developed a web platform that won the International Boomerang Award. Osman Qudsi, our head of customer support and communication. He has an extensive experience as a customer support manager in a regional telecom firm. And myself, Seeqnce, I have worked for many years at Capgemini Consulting. It's a leading consulting firm in Paris, and came back to Lebanon to start Etaraf. We are also onboarding now an MIT professor in machine learning that will help us optimize our algorithm and get the best of the collected data. Please, let me now show you a small demo of Etaraf. Here, the user starts by registering. Then, he gives us some basic information about what he's looking for, a woman, which religion, from where, basic information about himself, then goes through our psychological test. Here we're going to show you only a small sample. Then he uploads his picture that will instantly be blurred so you can see how other users will see it. He writes a small paragraph about himself and arrives to his top matches. As you can see, Seema is online. He can chat with her. So after chatting and getting to know each other a bit more, the user feels comfortable to go check Seema's profile. As you can see, her picture is blurred. He sends her a request, we call it talab takarub, to unblur the picture. And as soon as Seema answers, he receives notification. The request was accepted by Seema. Let's check her profile. The picture is unblurred. It's maybe the beginning of a love story on Etaraf.
Hello? Yeah.
Sorry.
when you gave the numbers, is there any way to define success rate or do some statistics? I mean, you talked about interactivity and exchanging messages. So will you give numbers later or do some statistics over that?
I can do some statistics, but I can tell you about the feeling that we have, that many of our users are sending us very positive testimonial and telling us, thank you for this platform. I have met this person or I have met another person. So for us, this is the most important metric for our success.
Okay. As for the MIT professor, is it to technically improve your algorithms or to define the matching criteria?
It's actually we are gathering a lot of data from our user because they are answering a full psychological test. And he is chatting on our platform. We want, without introducing his privacy, to get the best of this data to optimize our matching algorithm.
Okay.
So for people to get better and better matches.
Last question, the income.
The income. Like all the revenue streams, you mean? Yes, like all the most successful dating websites, user will have to pay a subscription to be able to have the full features of a Taraf. This, in a way, brings us money, of course. It's a business opportunity. And the second objective, it filters unserious daters, people who are not ready to pay to meet their soulmate.
Is it in practice in similar websites?
Yeah, it is a practice in similar websites.
So the main revenue will be from
Subscription.
not from ads?
No, it won't be from ads.
You're looking for 500,000 against what equity in the company?
According to our valuation, it's estimated at $5 million. So we're looking for $500,000 against 10% of equity. Next question.
Oh.
Please.
So is it mine?
Yeah.
Is your primary strategy to take customers away from other dating sites or to bring new customers in? And in both cases, what sort of market share have you reached by the time you reach your 10x year 5?
Okay. Well, actually, it's more attracting new customer because, as I said before, it's an untapped market. The existing competition don't really answer to the needs of the region. And we have seen with only 2 weeks of user acquisition, the amount of people who are interested in our product. In my opinion, it will be mainly bringing new customer, and of course, the customer that are on other dating website might join also because of our quality service and the innovation that we're bringing with affinity matchmaking and the progressive intimacy sharing. And you had a second question, I think, the percentage of the market share.
Yeah, or how many customers do you expect to have then by year 5?
By year 5, we'll be expecting to have, if my numbers are right, 8 million active users.
8 million paying users, right?
No, not 8 million paying user. It's 8 million active user, but because we have two main kind of subscription: the free subscription with limited features. So when I say active user, it will be here, and we are, according to the states, in the US market, 30% of online daters go for for a paying solution. In Lebanon, in our forecast, we went on a more conservative ratio and considered that 10% will go for a paying solution.
So 800.
Sorry?
800 paying.
800, exactly. No. More 8,000. 800,000, exactly. 800,000. 800,000.
Okay. First of all, I like the product. I like the psychology approach to it, especially in a conservative neighborhood as the Middle East. I like the graphics. What I'm worried about is how like getting 50,000 users is in a month is something, but ramping up from there on is a lot of work. And can you talk to us more about how you plan on spending those 65% in traction, and how is there specific strategies? Because it's another animal to get from the 30,000 to the million or something.
You are totally right, and we are aware of it. This is why we are working now on building strategic partnership with existing media in the region. We already built one with unusa.com. It's a magazine for women in the Arab region, having more than 1 million visits a day. And we're building on strategic partnership that will let us continue our control on the number of men and women entering the website to keep quality interaction. So for now there is UNUSA, and we're actually working on other communication channel other than the I'm not talking about the basic like Facebook ads and this, other strategic partnership that will help us. And we're even considering offline marketing to get the credibility. And I can give you more detail about the strategy if you want later.
How many players do you see in that market in 10 years?
For now, we have 30,000, as I said.
No, how many players?
Players.
Competitors of yours.
I honestly think that from now to 10 years, we will have the big majority of the market, and players won't be interested in the market anymore because we will be here.
Cedric, what will prevent unusa.com to develop their own site?
Because unusa.com is not really in the dating industry.
If it's big bucks, they will be.
They will be. They will need time to build what we already built, and they will need time to find the right, I would say, psychological test and algorithm that is going to match our user. This took a lot of time, and this is kind of a barrier on our entry. And this is why one of the main challenges that we will have to face is scaling rapidly, because we don't want to keep our edge over the competition. We will have to scale rapidly. This is kind of an answer to prevent other competitor of.
Sorry, Cedric.
Yes.
The real answer is
yes.
Unsa.com will do it, they will buy it. They will buy it.
Exactly. Exactly. True.
Couple of questions and maybe a quick comment. I think if anyone could see 10 years out in this space, we wouldn't be here. The top jobs in technology today, the top 5 didn't exist 4 years ago. So 2 questions. The first one is related to security or preventing the promotion of inaccurate information. You hear a lot of stories about these kind of websites and services where there's abuse, predatory behavior. So the first question is, what are you doing to prevent or minimize that sort of thing besides paying for the service? And the second is, what are you doing to monetize the life cycle of a relationship? So if it's just focused on that transaction that, hey, we're dating, do you lose that customer or do you lose that subscriber? Maybe you could talk about further monetization.
Okay. So if the first question was about
security.
اتعرف with its long psychological questionnaire and the fact that the pictures are unblurred and the fact that there is no search engine, you have your only top matches to talk to. There is other feature that can show him more matches, but you have the 30 matches and that you have to pay for it is already a barrier for all, I would say, scammers or people who want to have a fake profile or are not serious about dating to come on our website. Since there is other websites that some of them are free, basic information with a search engine, with a lot of people in the same spirit, which exists. So why would they go to اتعرف? This would be the first one. The second one, each profile has a report button, meaning that if someone is talking with a match, his match, and it appears that this match is a fake profile or scammers or making bad comments, he can report him, which gives us access to verify just the last 5-10 sentences that were written to see if we keep him or not on the platform, to filter these kind of people. The second question was about
monetizing the relationship.
Monetizing the relation. So we are releasing a lot of new features weekly for our users to reinforce the user engagement and for our users to stay on the platform. And some of them, like a virtual gift shop, will exist to send a flower or a heart or whatsoever virtually over our platform, and that will be paying. And I would say that if ever someone found his match on اتعرف, a successful match, and we leave اتعرف, it is one of the best publicity we can have, and we would have achieved our goal. So it's losing a customer because he succeeded in finding his soulmate is maybe 10 other customers coming to اتعرف.
Any further questions? Okay. Thank you, Cedric.
Thank you very much.
Next up, we have a tag team duo, Luay Al-Qadri and Walid Sinjar. They're going to be talking to you about Priscilla. Priscilla does events risk-free.
Hello everyone, I am Luay Al-Qadri, founder at Priscilla. Priscilla is an online pre-selling platform for events that takes the risk out of event planning and enables everyone everywhere to become a promoter and organize their own events. Promoters around the world are facing a major problem. Events are risky and they are costly. For example, a promoter that's organizing a concert has to go and put a down payment on a venue. He then has to go and spend a lot of time, money and effort organizing his event, with absolutely no guarantee that it will be successful or profitable. So clearly, promoters everywhere need a way for them to get fans to buy their tickets early on. And Priscilla does exactly that. With our pre-sales platform, Priscilla enables promoters to jumpstart their events by giving them all the tools they need to create and manage perks and discounts. They can add rewards to all the tickets they are pre-selling. This highly incentivizes fans to go and buy those early bird tickets instead of waiting till the last minute and getting regular tickets at the door at a higher price and with no perks. Furthermore, Priscilla enables promoters to crowdfund their events via ticket pre-sales. This means that the event will only happen if they sell a certain number of tickets. This completely eliminates all financial risk out of event planning. Priscilla is truly events risk-free, and the market opportunity is huge. In the Arab world alone, the event planning industry is worth more than $3 billion, and it's growing at a very fast pace. Plus, there are no proper e-ticketing platforms that meet the demands of Arab promoters, that is pre-sales, and incentivizing people to buy tickets early on. So, having looked at all of this, we devised our business model, where we charge a commission per ticket sold. This commission varies depending on the event type and the location of the event. For example, in Lebanon, we charge 2.5% plus 99 cents for confirmed events, that is regular pre-sales. On the other hand, we charge 4% plus 99 cents for unconfirmed events, that is crowdfunding events through ticket pre-sales. And Priscilla is playing in an untapped space. In order to explain that better, let's look at our competitive environment. You may think of our competitors as the crowdfunding platforms, such as Kickstarter. However, they do not sell tickets. You may also think of them as the e-ticketing platforms, such as Eventbrite. However, they do not do crowdfunding. In the Arab world, you might think of them as the big ticket sellers, such as Virgin, for example. However, they only sell regular tickets for big events. They do not cater for the needs of the small to medium-sized promoters. They do not do pre-sales, and they do not do crowdfunding. Therefore, Priscilla emerges as the only pre-sale platform that truly enables fans to create their events risk-free. And we had a very successful reception in Lebanon. Since our launch, we've sold more than $50,000 worth of tickets. We've also caught the eye of some of the biggest regional promoters and have hosted international events in Dubai, Turkey, and Cyprus. We've also announced and pre-sold the biggest event of the year in Beirut, Guns N' Roses. Now, the promoter of Guns N' Roses said that a big part of the success of his event was having it on Priscilla. In the future, we're very excited about our future, and in the future, we want Priscilla to be the place promoters go to announce, pre-sell, and manage their event. In that regard, in addition to the website we now have, we're developing a mobile app for promoters that would help them better manage and streamline their at-the-door processes. We already have a basic version of this app. There is a working version, and we'll be developing the full-featured one and releasing it in Q2 of 2013. We're also developing a merchant POS app that will enable all of you here to buy your Priscilla tickets from your favorite coffee shop or grocery store in Q3 of 2013. Based on the reception we got in Lebanon and the demand we see from the Arab world, if we were to capture 3% of the event market in the Arab world, we would be grossing revenues of more than $11 million by year 4, which is 2017, and become cash positive at the end of year 2, that's 2015. Our aim today is to raise $600,000. We will use these funds in the next 10 months in order to become the leading ticketing platform in Lebanon and get a very strong foothold in the Emirates and Qatar. So what's the value of Priscilla today? Well, e-ticketing platforms and startups all over the world are raising a lot of funds at high valuations. Priscilla has a double advantage. First, it's operating in a market with virtually no competitors. And second, this market has very high barriers to entry for international players. So let's say one of these big international players wants to enter into the Arab market. It would be better for them to acquire Priscilla rather than compete with us in a market they're unfamiliar with. Who is the team behind Priscilla? Our CTO, Ali Kubaisi, who has more than 10 years of coding experience. Walid Singer, our business developer, who has more than 10 years of experience in the event management industry in Lebanon. He has booked some of the biggest international artists into Beirut and has an extensive network of connections within the events industry in both the GCC and Europe. And last but not least, myself, I am Luay Al-Qadri. I have 2 years of experience in Canadian startups and hold a master's degree in business entrepreneurship and technology. I will now leave the floor to Walid, who will guide you through a brief demo of our product.
Hello, everyone. So this is the Priscilla main page. You can clearly notice the difference between an unconfirmed crowdfunded event and a confirmed pre-sale event. Now, if you scroll around the website, you will see all the amazing things that you can attend with one click of a button. And for a promoter, we're going to go through the create event process. Considering it's an unconfirmed event first, he goes into the unconfirmed button and then enters his regular event details. From the event name, unique URL, and the flyer, he then moves to the most crucial part, the ticketing section. This is where he needs 50 tickets to confirm his event. And then he specifies the price and moves on to specifying the date of that event and when he would start sale. Once published, the fans will access that event right from the main page. So for this event, for example, he needs 10 tickets to confirm this event. The fan can choose from one of the multiple categories, the number of tickets, and instantly pre-orders the tickets. And he will be one step closer into confirming the event. Now, for a confirmed event, the promoter goes to the confirmed section, where he will also enter his event details, regular, the flyer, the unique URL, and specify with his ticket a perk or a discount so that he would incentivize buying early on. Once he's done, he will move to the sales date of that event and publish it. The user can also access it from the main page and choose from the multiple ticket categories. This is a running event now on our website, actually. So he chooses the number of tickets he needs and the price of that ticket, and he can instantly pay for it. Now, when paying online, he will receive an e-ticket in his email and a small resume. He downloads that e-ticket, and he can then present it at the door. Thank you.
Okay, the floor is open for questions.
Question, can I invite my friends from Facebook to an event I create on Priscilla?
Oh, of course. Priscilla has all of the elements that help promoters to share their events and make it viral on social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter. You can even share it via email. Well, the via email thing will be released later this month.
Thank you, and sorry, everybody. I think I'm misunderstanding something. It seems to me the strategic differentiator is the pre-selling element, which is actually not a service that's provided by you. It's provided by the event organizer. They're giving tickets cheaper for an unconfirmed event. Why cannot any ticket booking website just add the same functionality that you've added and provide unconfirmed event tickets as opposed to confirmed event tickets?
Okay, so we have two types of events on the platform. The confirmed event, that's where the pre-sales actually happen, and that's where the promoter is the one that's giving the incentives for the people to buy their tickets early on. Our platform is really designed to cater for that need, for the need of the promoter to incentivize people to buy their tickets early on. But we also offer unconfirmed events, and we're the only platform in the world to offer that service. This means that the event will only happen if he pre-sells a certain number of tickets. This is not easy to implement for other ticket providers, as it's a totally different business model for them. Like there's a whole for them. It's not an easy add-on because there's the whole back end of it that requires a lot of work. You have to, well, in order to do unconfirmed events, you have to convey the message properly. You also have to have the payment gateway that's ready to actually process the unconfirmed events. Because we only charge people once the event is confirmed. That's that.
Any other questions?
Yes. You're charging the people when the event is confirmed.
Yes.
There's a gap between the time when the customer would like to go for the event, and maybe it's after months the event is confirmed and will run for it. What will happen?
So on the event.
You go back to the customer, or
sorry.
You go back to the customer for reconfirmation, or after 1 month you withdraw money?
No. The way it happens is that the event page, the way it looks is you have all of your event details, and it shows you at the top that the event is unconfirmed with a bar. So once this bar reaches its target, the event is confirmed on the date that's specified at the top. So he already knows that if the event gets confirmed, it's getting confirmed on this date. And the money will be withdrawn. Of course. And he will get his tickets.
First off, whoever went through buying a ticket through Virgin ticketing would really appreciate this. So when you said there is no competition, probably, but usually when there's no competition, either because you are inventing something new or because there's no industry for that. So you might choose your words because it might be frightening. Now, on the crowdfunding part,
yes.
I think you're not tackling the crowdfunding outside the realm of events.
We're not.
Okay, so I think there is an opportunity for that, and you should look at it as another source of revenue, and you should look at recurrent sources of revenue as in movie tickets, small events, so that people would look at you as the destination for their everyday ticketing. So when there is an event, they will have bigger exposure, they will have more traffic. Event organizers would know that there is more traffic to that, and which goes on back to the main point, which is traction.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Priscilla. Okay, next up, we have Itob, and we have Paul Sauber on stage. Itob is an online medical Q&A. Paul Sauber will be telling you all about it.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Paul Sauber, co-founder of Itob. Itob is the first online medical Q&A focused on connecting doctors and patients in the Arab world. It's the first in the Middle East, it's the first in the Arab world. Our mission is to improve access to healthcare. We want people to think of Itob before they think of their doctor. In the Arab world and worldwide, most people look for health information online, mainly because it's free. It's, you can access it instantly and indefinitely. But the problem is that information is not trustworthy, and we don't know if it's accurate or not, and it's not personalized. Doctors' visits, however, are personalized. They are trustworthy, and they are of high quality. But the problem is they're very costly. And you have limited access to it, as in the only access you have to this information is within the visit's duration, which is 15 minutes on average, and it's not immediate. You would have to book an appointment, which takes time. Itob, as shown, provides both benefits. Let me explain how. Itob provides people with the best health information and connects them with doctors online. Users can now submit questions and get answers securely, anonymously, and for free. They can also browse existing Q&As and view doctors' full professional profiles. I'm proud to announce that in 2 months, we have built the largest online network of Lebanese doctors. We now have 200 doctors covering 31 medical specialties. And these are not just any doctors. These are doctors affiliated with top medical institutions such as ABNC, Hôtel Dieu de France, Saint Georges Hospital, Rizzo Hospitals, among others. These doctors have answered 1,500 questions in 2 months. We now have over 10,000 registered users. We've reached 10,000 unique visitors per day, and we've generated $10,000 of revenues. Now, let's take a look at the market for eTub. Today, there are over 650,000 doctors in the Arab world and over 100 million online users. 1.4 billion searches submitted to Google are related each month to health. And health is the third fastest growing category in mobile applications. The future of healthcare is people looking for health information and connecting with doctors online. Now, how are we going to make money? 3 main sources of revenues. First one, members will pay for premium Q&A features. Doctors will pay for subscriptions to an online booking system that we're developing. And the people who are trying to reach the doctors and users will pay us for sponsorships and advertisements. Now, who are the competitors? We've analyzed each competitor based on 2 parameters. The first one is how relevant they are to people looking for health information in the Arab world. And the second one, how credible this information is. You have Quora, which is a US-based website. It is a general Q&A website. Allows anyone to answer questions. This makes it rank low on credibility and low on relevance to people in the Arab world. Al-Tibbi and WebTab both provide health information to the Arab world. However, Al-Tibbi allows anyone to answer, and WebTab doesn't connect doctors and patients at all. Provides articles, symptom checker, and that kind of thing. This is why they rank low on credibility and high on relevance. Finally, HealthApp ranks high on credibility but caters only for the US market. Let's see where eTub stands. We verify all the doctors before they join and answer on eTub. This is to ensure the credibility of our information. At the same time, we connect people with local doctors to address their specific concerns. This makes us extremely relevant to people in the Arab world. Now, by investing in eTub, you're not only investing in an amazing business opportunity, you're also investing in great people. Sarah is handling our marketing and sales. She has worked for top brands such as Elisab and Elle magazine. Jad has been coding since the age of 14. He's our chief technology officer. Nader has over 7 years of experience in graphic design. He's behind eTub's branding and user experience. Dani Abu Jawde is responsible for our operations. And prior to co-founding eTub, I was a management consultant at PricewaterhouseCoopers. Now I'm handling the management and business development. We're also establishing a strategic advisory board made up of leaders in the Lebanese medical industry to help us reach our vision. So what are the next steps for eTub? By June, we'll launch our Arabic version to expand initially to Egypt and Jordan and then to the Arab world. By September, we'll be launching 2 mobile applications, one for doctors, one for patients, to enable them to access eTub on the go wherever they are. By the end of the year, we're rolling out all the paid Q&A features. And at the beginning of 2014, we're launching our online booking system. Let's talk about the numbers. By the third year, we'll become cash flow positive. And we're estimating reaching 130,000 doctors by the 4th year, which is roughly 19.5% of total doctors in the region by this year, and 10 million users, which is 4.5% of the total market in 2017. We're asking for $500,000, mainly for 32% will be spent on marketing and advertising, 26% will be spent on human resources, 19% in facilities and utilities, and the rest on operations. The return on investment, if you spend $1 now, if you invest $1 now, you will get $16 in 5 years. Allow me to show you a small demonstration of how eTub works. This is eTub's homepage. As you can see, it's very straightforward. All you need to do is input your question in the text box provided and click on the Get Answers button. You'll get a list of similar questions that have already been answered on the platform. Let's click on the first one to see how it works and how it looks. So for this particular question, multiple doctors have answered it. This is because the user requested multiple opinions from different doctors. Each answer contains the name of the doctor who answered it along with his specialty and the number of thanks this doctor have received. They can also receive agrees on their answer by other doctors. If you notice the disclaimer under each answer, it's to remind that all the answers are for informational purposes only. You can also click on the picture or the doctor's name to view his or her profile. We list their specialty details, work history, faculty appointments, and education and training. This is all to allow users to know more of the doctors who are answering and to actually go visit them if they want to see them. You can also view all the answers this doctor has provided on YouTube and reach each one of them, and the number of agrees that I've received and thanks. Now, if you didn't find an answer to your question, you can always submit your question using the submit button, and it will be directed to a pool of specialized doctors who will answer you. Once answered, you will be notified by email. As you can see, the most engaged doctors are featured every week on the homepage. To wrap this up, the time has come for proper digital healthcare in the Arab world. The time has come for something like YouTube to be here. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Hi, Seeqnce. I want to know the advantage for the doctor and for the members to pay. What is their advantage if they pay for the membership as opposed to a free membership? Or
okay, so the free the paid Q&A allows users to write longer questions, and it allows them also to upload files to share with the doctors, their medical files, which could be blood tests or any other lab tests they did, and to get a very detailed answer to their question. This is mainly targeted for the people who are looking for a second opinion after they have visited the doctor, but for a cheaper alternative. Does that answer your question?
And why would doctors
Doctors would pay only if they want to, they want to subscribe to our online booking system. This online booking system shows the real-time availability of each doctor. So if, for example, you canceled your appointment at 5, by 5:10, someone else could have booked that appointment since it's directly linked to the doctor's system. And they will only pay if they want to have this online booking system.
Okay, can we come back to this, please? I'm a bit confused.
Yeah.
You are going to have a registration fee that is paid yearly or upfront?
No, for each
one time?
For each session, for the member side, for each session, for each paid Q&A session, they will pay a one-time fee of $25.
Okay.
And they will ask their question and submit all the medical files to the doctor, who will then answer their question.
Okay, what's in it for the doctor?
What's in it for the doctor? So for right now, we asked our doctors why they were on the platform. Some of them answered it's for exposure.
Make a name? Yeah, exposure.
Some answered it's because they enjoy answering people's questions, while others want to stay ahead of all the new trends in digital health.
Okay.
What we're going
so
to
there's
do,
no revenue sharing scheme on the $25?
There will be a revenue sharing scheme on the $25, but it will be given through honorarias, not as in every question you will get a certain percentage.
Okay. Fair.
Okay, I have 3 questions. First, other than the fact that doctors are from the area, what differentiates ETOP from WebMD or ZocDoc or whatever other competitors in the US?
Okay.
Okay, this is one. Let me finish. Second, how do doctors register, and is there a validation process that you do so to know that this is really a doctor or somebody just pranking around giving advice, medical advice? And 3, you said we're going to expand to Jordan and Egypt, but I don't see why you should expand. Why is there a national or regional expansion? If it's in English, what are you doing to expand in a country? Because I see it as a global thing that can provide advice wherever you are from any doctor that can register to your, why Jordan and Egypt? I don't get it.
Okay, to answer your first question, what differentiates us from WebMD? WebMD is a medical portal where you find articles, symptom checkers, and a Q&A. But the Q&A in WebMD allows anyone to answer. It's a community-based Q&A. What we offer is you come to ETOB and you're going to be connected with doctors. That's our value. People will be able to ask questions, the doctor will answer them. Now, our biggest differentiation between them is we're catering for the Arab world.
How is it that you are catering
By
to the
getting-
Arab world. Why wouldn't I log into what is it called, ZocDoc or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, ZocDoc, and just ask my question over there. If it's not an Arab language-based portal, if it's not, how are you different?
First of all, we're launching our Arabic version in June. We've already started. I explained it in the roadmap before, just a reminder. But what differentiates, like for ZocDoc is mainly an online booking platform. And the doctors on ZocDoc are mainly US doctors, so you wouldn't be able to book an appointment with a Lebanese doctor on ZocDoc.
You would be able to get advice.
As for the Q&A, people sometimes have specific issues that are very local to where you are. For example, in Saudi Arabia or any other GCC country, people have a lot of issues when they want to ask intimate questions to doctors. You have culture barriers, you have family barriers and tradition barriers. And by asking to a Lebanese doctor or a doctor in this region, you will better understand their specific issues than a doctor based in the US, since the culture is not exactly the same at all. So what we're offering is local doctors to address specific local issues that might be linked to local traditions and cultures. Can you remind me what your second question was?
Validation for
of doctors. Each doctor who wants to join ETO, if we didn't contact him, usually when we contact doctors, we're 100% sure they're a doctor affiliated with a top medical institution. So we've already verified him if we're contacting him. If a doctor wants to join by his own, he's required to send us a scanned copy of his license, and we verify his licensure number with our database, which is extensive, and he sends us his CV. Based on these three, we either allow the doctor to answer and join ETOB, or we don't. And we've already rejected several doctors because of that. Does that answer your questions?
Question for you. Sorry. Okay. With regards to this, to the Saudi or the GCC angle that you highlighted, one way that they have actively started to localize due to these cultural nuances is through the use of avatars. So if you look at Health Imagination that was created by GE for Saudi Arabia with the Ministry of Health, they've created a very innovative way digitally to allow people to take on a different persona to ask whatever questions that they'd like to have answered. Okay. An interesting thing that you may also want to consider for ETOP. But the bigger question around the local aspect, and I fully agree with these questions, is that one of the main issues that you have in this part of the world is chronic disease management. Right? We have a lot of diseases related to sedentary behavior, and the question therefore to you is, what are you doing to be relevant to this burning platform with ministries of health or national healthcare agencies for managing this problem, where tens and tens of billions of dollars are spent to try to solve this, and an avenue that could be very interesting for a digital play like ETOP. What's your agenda beyond doctors and patients to work with national agencies for chronic disease management, if anything?
Okay, so what we're focusing on right now at this stage is to acquire the largest amount of quality doctors. Later on, if we see that chronic disease management is where we need to go after testing the market and after talking with the relevant government agencies, we might go into chronic disease. But for now, what we're focusing on is to connect doctors and patients on a Q&A platform and to allow these patients to go actually and see these doctors. And later on, we might go into chronic diseases, just like you said.
Can you please give me an example of the most complex question I can ask and get a free answer for it? No, something really complex. And I want to know what are the limits of the questions that we can ask.
There are no limits to the question you can ask.
Yeah, but give an example.
For example, we had an issue with a young girl who was 18 years old, and she was recently diagnosed with breast cancer. She didn't tell her family, nor her parents, nor her friends. So a doctor answered her, and her question was, so I didn't tell anyone, what do you think I should do for this particular case? And doctors answered her and explained to her how breast cancer treatment has been much better in recent years, and that she should go see a doctor and go talk to her family and friends to help her during the treatment procedure.
Yeah, but this is more counseling than, you know, a medical answer.
We're not giving
more counseling.
We're not giving medical advice, prescription, or treatment to anyone. What we're giving is medical information. If you want to know more about a certain disease, for example, what are the symptoms of, let's say,
you were saying that it will be mostly used to
for
double check.
This is the private Q&A, the paid Q&A.
Yes.
The paid Q&A will be to double check. For example, let's say you went and did several lab blood tests, and or it can be an X-ray for your knee or whatever. You just submit all these documents to a doctor. This doctor reviews them, checks the information you've written, what the previous doctor has told you. Based on this information, he can give you what he thinks about it. But this is also only for information purposes. If you want to go to another doctor and do the entire procedure again, you will have to book an appointment, pay the normal fee, and waste time basically to see this other doctor. Now, if it's a very complex issue, you should go to a hospital. We're here for informational purposes only.
Okay. Thank you.
Any last questions? Okay, great. Thank you. Next up, we have Seeqnce. It's difficult to pronounce, but I think it's Seeqnce. And we have Noor Jabra on stage. She will be talking about designed and crafted with love for you t-shirts made by Seeqnce.
Hi, my name is Noor Jabra and I'm a co-founder for Seeqnce. My founders and I saw that there were many artists in the region, but a lot of them felt that they had to leave the country in order to make money or gain the recognition that they needed. And at the same time, we felt that there were no clothes in the market that reflected who we were as young Arabs. And so we created Seeqnce, an online platform aimed at giving Arab artists the opportunity to make money and gain exposure by designing t-shirts. So how does it work? Artists submit their designs to our website, to competitions that we have every 2 weeks. You can then go onto the website and pick your favorite one. But that design will only get printed if it receives a minimum of 25 orders. The artist will then be rewarded accordingly. So as the artist, the more t-shirts you sell, the more money you make. And you get to help them make it happen, and at the same time, you get a high quality t-shirt. So let's take a look at our competitors. Threadless is currently the largest crowdsourced online t-shirt store. It has just generated $30 million in revenue, and it is American, based in Chicago. The bottom line is that Threadless is not Arab. Ushi.com is based in Egypt. It is an online t-shirt store, but it reflects just the needs of the nationals. It completely ignores the needs of the pan-Arab population. At the same time, the designs on the website do not come from artists, and so they're limited in their style and variety. JoeBedu.com is a Jordan-based website, and although it has competitions, the artists are not financially incentivized in a meaningful way. You can see this because when you go on the website, you'll see an artist submit once, but he doesn't submit twice. Seeqnce isn't only limited to Lebanon. It allows artists from all around the world to submit, which is why when you go onto the website, you will find something that you love. And because artists are meaningfully financially incentivized, they have a 60% return rate. Artists love Seeqnce. So we've been launched for the last 3 months, and since then we have sold over 500 t-shirts. We have made $5,000 gross profit, and we have a network of 100 strong and active artists. In 2014, we will sell 1,000 t-shirts a month. We will have a gross profit margin of $10,000, and we will have a community of 1,500 strong and active artists. But we cannot do this in Lebanon alone, which is why we're spreading in Egypt and the United Arab Emirates. Egypt is a massive market, and lucky for us, one of our founders is Egyptian, so he has insights in consumer behavior and the retail industry. At the same time, keep in mind that Egypt has a very strong culture, and so young adults there will be very excited to be able to showcase this via statement t-shirts. The United Arab Emirates is an attractive market for us because of the high credit card penetration rate. Because the e-tail market is active, and because the average teenager spends, on average, $71 a week, which is 3 times the amount of a global teenager, there's a lot of opportunity for us over there. And finally, because of the large expats living in the community who love the idea of culture t-shirts with a modern twist, This is just one of the styles that are featured on our website. So, how are we going to increase and get to where we want to be in terms of sales? By increasing the number of designs on the website, when you're going to go on our website, you will find something that you love. Second of all, what we're going to do is we're going to launch a feature that happens simultaneous to the competition, where our previously winning designs will be available for sale, and the artist can keep on making money based on his design. Finally, designer acquisition has been a crucial part of our strategy. Designers onboard customers, and so by focusing partnerships with design institutions, associations, or groups, we will ensure that we're getting designers and we're getting customers. Finally, let's take into consideration that we're in the Middle East, and brand awareness is best done offline, and we're going to expand our distribution channels in boutiques, shops, and stands. We plan on becoming cash positive next year by May 2014. In 2017, we will be generating $6 million in revenue. We are trying to raise $100,000 in exchange for 12% equity. This money will be used for recruitment, because as we're expanding, we'll need assistance with operations and assistance with curating submissions. Second of all, technology and acquisition. We will want to increase efficiencies and to improve the quality of the designs on our t-shirts. And finally, marketing, because brand awareness and user and designer acquisition have to be done on a large scale for us to be able to meet our sales targets. So not only are you investing in Seeqnce, but you're investing in the team behind Seeqnce. Serge Panossian was actually a participant and a winner in an Seeqnce competition. He's now leading the community. He has 4 years of experience in branding and advertising. Sehnaoui is the Chief Technology Officer of the team. He has 7 years of supply chain management and is our expert computer scientist. I am Noor Jabra. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Seeqnce. I handle the strategy and the marketing and have 3 years of business management. Let me walk you through the website. When you log onto the website, it is available in both Arabic and in English, and it will detect this automatically. As you scroll down, the competition is featured on the main page. You'll have the banner with the theme and the designs up close. You see the bar over there indicates how many more orders this t-shirt needs in order to get printed. So let's just click on one of them. As we go down, you can see the sidebar and the bar on top that says how many perks you get as you order now. The goals are explained in more detail down there. As you scroll up, you can see the design on a man, on a woman, and up close. Let's just pick guy's size medium, add to cart. Success. You can then see your items stored in the cart, and you can make any modifications to the quantity, and you can see the perks involved with ordering your t-shirt. You can update it, and your estimated total will change. Proceed to checkout. The checkout form is very simple to fill. Just put in your name and all the necessary information, and then you will get your order shipped to you. By changing the country, the RMX shipping will automatically be adjusted. Once you accept Seeqnce's terms and conditions, you can place your order, and you will be redirected to our secure payment gateway. Put your card number, expiry date, security code, and success. Your order has been successfully processed. Thank you. I would love to hear your questions.
Any questions?
Yeah.
If the order, if you checked out and you paid the product, but what if the t-shirt doesn't get created? Does it charge you? Does it wait till it gets created to charge you?
What happens is that it charges you, but if the t-shirt does not win, then it will just put the money back into your account.
Any other questions?
Where do you produce the t-shirts?
We get the t-shirts from an international supplier, and we print them in Lebanon. We print them, we supply them from Belgium. Yeah.
Any further questions? Okay.
Why are you limiting yourself to t-shirts?
We're not only limited to t-shirts now, but we chose t-shirt as our first product because t-shirts are very statement, and because it is a great way for our artists to be able to express themselves and turn it into a fashion item as well.
So do you have any idea of what type of other artistic product you will be selling?
We have a lot of ideas for product offerings. A lot of them involve canvas bags, technology, covers for phones, and so on. And so forth, yeah.
excuse me, is there any issue of copyright in the whole thing?
I mean,
because if I do an exquisite design, I don't want anybody to replicate it. So how do you manage this?
Yeah. First of all, I'll answer that question in two different ways. We are in the Middle East, so even within submissions, you always run the risk of having copyright infringement, which is why we're very clear about our guidelines. We don't accept any designs that have been replicated or seen before, and we're very clear to our designers about that. In terms of ensuring that our stuff does not get duplicated, we're very careful to disclaim and to take care of the designs themselves.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Rawad Haj from Rikbit. Activity Planning Simplified.
Hello? Good evening. My name is Rawad Haj, co-founder of Rikbit.com, where activity planning is simplified. Perfect. No matter who we are and what we do, we all relate to the single notion of group activities. And no matter what the nature of these activities are, they all share one major problem. Planning them is just not convenient. How so? Well, it all starts with the what to do, where to go, when to go, and who's going. And the logical course of action would be, let's discuss, let's call, let's confirm, let's see what we're gonna do, confirm again, and we find ourselves stuck in an endless loop that results in us sitting at a local coffee shop. Now, what if there is an online destination website with hundreds of activities that are planned ahead, that are packaged and ready for people to browse and book? What if we can also book these activities online and on the go? And what if there is an innovative social solution for us to be able to share the content with our friends without the hassle of the communication? And what if this whole thing is a simple process of 3 mouse buttons: browse, book, and invite? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have some good news. We have created that, and it is called Rikbit.com, Activity Planning Simplified. Our users, they loved it. Being a destination website, now they have a place they can go to that is full of activities that are packaged and ready for them for just to book. The simple procedure of paying online guaranteed them a place at the venue, and all the reservations are done for them. And being a group-based platform, forming a group is very easy, especially with the advanced integration of social media tools that automatically detects and shares the actions done on the website with the user's friend. One, to ease up the communication, and second, to encourage other people to join in. On the other side of the equation, we have our merchants, and they loved Rikbit too. They saw an opportunity in Rikbit to get their online sales channels, and best part is, it is for free. So, simply said, our most important stakeholders, they now a free high-traffic e-commerce platform where people can book online, especially with the vast adaptation of e-payment in the region. The business model is pretty straightforward. The listings on the website are for free. Browsing the website is also for free. Rikbit takes 10% commission of all the activities that are booked on the website. A model that is that is simple for the merchant and transparent for the user. In terms of competition, we have on one hand the Daily Deals website, which are mainly loss leaders for the merchants. On the other hand, we have the social networking platforms which don't actually involve the merchant component into them, and none of which address the correlation between merchant and user, between seller and buyer. Rikbit did strike the perfect balance between these, between the merchant that now have a free online sales channel for them for people to book online, and the users who now have a destination website with hundreds of activities that are ready for them to book. Our cute instance, this balance, this well-crafted balance put us where we are now. We have 100 weekly activities. That's around 3 months of already planned activities for people to book and browse. We have 50 premium merchants here in Beirut. We have $5,000 in sales during the past 2 months, and we have 40% return visitor because we know that these people are coming back for more. By 2013, October 2013, we will have 1,000 weekly activities. That's around 2.5 years of planned activities ahead. 500 team immersions, a mobile app that will complement our web platform, and we will hit a new market, which will be Dubai. Our financial projection tells us that we will be cash flow positive by mid of year 1. And by year 4, which is 2018, we will have a revenue of, that exceeds 2.5 million, and we will have a profit that is $1.71 million. In order to get to these numbers, we are asking to raise $150,000 for 15% of Rigbit, which will mainly be spent on HR, third-party services, facilities, marketing, and merchant acquisition. Behind Rigbit is a solid team of 3. We have Yes Haj, who is our CTO with over 10 years of experience in coding, of multinational experience in coding. Yes knows the product and knows how to build products. We have Tony Haj, our sales manager. He has been planning and organizing events for the past 13 years of his life. He knows groups from A to Z. And you have myself, Rawat Haj, I'm the CEO. I have over 5 years of experience in design, print and multimedia with a background in advertising and marketing. I know how to brand, package, and sell. Allow me to show you a demo of how Rigbit works. So here we have our homepage. The login usually happens via Facebook. So here, Tony just signed in to the website. As you can see, we have different categories on the website: sports, entertainment, original activities, food and drink, and outdoors. Tony apparently likes sports. So he's gonna browse the activities. Of course, all the details are showing. We don't want any step between the user and the activity. He's gonna go to Rock Climbing 101. Climbing 101. Here we have all the social tools that will advertise this activity, the details, and everything one needs to know before booking. Here he can choose to pick 1 ticket or 2, enters his card information, and bam. This is all it takes. So on this particular activity, we find that 1 more is needed. So what will he do? He will simply invite his friend. He can choose what method of invitation he wants to send. He wants to send a private invitation to Lias Mitri Haj. He's going to say, let's go. And with that link shared, if we open, Lias Haj will open his Facebook, we'll find an inbox message from Tony sharing the particular activity. After that's done, clicks on the link, goes to the website. He can see that Tony is going. He just scrolls down, books, connects through Facebook, and the simple procedure of booking happens. After that is done, he enters his card information. The activity is on. To Elias and Tony will receive an email that the activity is on. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer. Thank you.
Okay, central to your success is getting more and more transactions done, and obviously getting more users to transact. So, what's your marketing strategy to get more users, and what's the cost estimated to get those users?
Perfect.
For you to be able to break even and make profits?
Perfect. Mainly, the most important part, which is the most important factor in Rigbit, is that it's extremely organic. Based on the data that we have collected so far, which mainly were about merchant acquisition rather than user acquisition, we have been able to prove that the product is organic. Of course, we will be using online marketing, such as Facebook, because the model works best with social media. It's the easiest way to communicate. It's even better than WhatsApp, apparently. They will be easier to communicate. We will have our guerrilla marketing, which has been proven to be successful. We have some stuff that are already done for us. The cost, it varies. It varies from market to market. For example, here in Lebanon, it would cost you around 9 to 10 cents to get a person to the website. The conversion rate is around 3 from getting the user until he transfers. So the cost to get the merchant is low. And the most importantly, that one person will get us more people, because the model is based on group activities. Yani, as you have seen, there are activities that only get on if 2 or 3 people join. And this is what has been happening via Rigbit.
According to your number, you have to be very careful, because what you're saying is the cost per user is $3 if you make a quick computation, while you're taking less than 10% of commission, because that is the credit card fee. So this means that you have to be careful that the average transaction is over $50. And I've seen here, a lot of prices around $17 and $20. So you have to be very careful on your model on this.
The average cost, the average transaction is around $20. But we do not depend that our user will go to Rigbit to book one activity. And many of the people who already booked, for example, hiking expedition, they went to hiking, they went to paintball. We do not depend on a person that is coming to the website and booking one activity. We want them to open rigbit.com whenever they feel like they want to do a group activity. And so far, many of the people that booked once, actually I would say up to 70% of the people who booked once booked again and again for different activities.
So can I go? So, sorry. I think the product looks really slick, so well done on that. I have 2 comments and a question. The first comment is, like I said outside, I really think you should be taking this into Europe, not targeting, because I mean, if it all works, then it's applicable to Europe as well. The second one is, if you're going to take it to the Middle East, especially Egypt, maybe think about changing the name. It's not going to fly.
We have thought about it.
Afwan, yani. No, but my question is this. It's about, you've got thousands of users a week. Have you run any diagnostics on them? Who is it that's visiting? What exactly are they browsing? And what's the conversion rate to a booking?
Perfect. The conversion rate to a booking, I would say, the numbers are close to 2%, 1.9 or 2%, for them to come to the website. Excuse me, about your first question, about expanding, you asked 2 questions?
No, the only question was about diagnostics.
Yes, excuse me, yes.
What are people, who is browsing, what are they browsing, and what is the conversion rate to a booking?
Perfect. The way we do it, mainly we do value our users on Rigbit. So we have many plugins and many tools for us to be monitoring these users, especially at this stage, live. And we chat to them live, and we ask what they want and when they want. Mainly the people who are booking are people who are outgoing, are people who want to meet new people, and we have people that want to go on private groups. We were surprised that this model works on a very wide age range of people. And we are asking, and we are identifying our strength point, our strong activities, and empowering them via the website. The conversion rate, as I said, is around 1.9 to 2% of the people who actually go to the website and register for them to convert into booking.
Which is pretty good, actually.
Yes. Thank you.
A question around the network effect of Seeqnce here. I mean, we've seen Taraf and Priscilla, both of which have natural complement, to each other with Rigbit. If you could have a pre-selling ability around events, it seems to be a very natural relationship. And then certainly with Taraf, you're dating or potentially dating, it makes sense to kind of go on these types of activities together. Have you considered, the whole being greater than the sum of the parts?
Well, we're at Startup 6. We have one more startup, and I can tell you that for them to reach the stage that they have reached today in 6 months, it took doing 7 startups at a speed of roughly 10 times the speed of an average Lebanese startup, if not 100. And every startup benefits from all of the challenges that the other startups go through. So if Rigbit had a problem with e-payment, he would solve the problem and transfer that knowledge to all of the people, to all of the other startups in the Seeqnce Accelerator program. This is what allowed us to accelerate them, which kind of answers the question. We have always looked for opportunities where there would be synergies between the startups, and we have always identified startups that did not have conflicting interests when we selected the startups for the program. Rickbeat and Priscilla actually hand over, because an event is a kind of activity, and activity is a kind of event. They've decided that there are certain brackets that make more sense to their business models, and when they get approached and the bracket doesn't fit, they hand them over. And that has resulted in actual good business activities. As for the relationships in the businesses, meaning that Priscilla could potentially lead to activities on Rickbeat, okay, where Rickbeat would connect would have one of the Rickbeat activities would be connected to a Priscilla event where people would book it on Rickbeat and connect it to Priscilla. This could very easily be done. It hasn't been done yet because they're all trying to ramp up their activities yet. They are now brothers and sisters, so I highly doubt that they're going to have any trouble sitting around and discussing some form of partnership.
I just think in the context of soliciting further investment, right, that as a potential further investor, I would be very interested, as perhaps others are here, to see, how do these synergies translate into an operational reality? When X% of 500 or 150 or whatever is going to go towards, services and operations, that synergy effect becomes increasingly important. So now that you're kind of born and productive, holding hands more explicitly becomes increasingly interesting from an investment perspective. An idea.
I agree, and let's just say tomorrow is going to be a very interesting day because all the startups are going to sit down together and decide what the next course of action is. So it may be the end of the acceleration program, but it's the start of a very long journey. Yeah. Any other questions for Rickbeat?
Just picking back on the question was just asked, it might be the job of also the investors to kind of bring in, these ideas into the startup funds and help bring them together and make it all work, because they might have a more global view of what's going on, while the people that have been developing this have a more micro view, and the people that are investing will have a different point of view that they need to contribute to this process. So.
To Ramiz's credit, he's always been a very close advisor, so he's just voicing it publicly, but he's voiced these things very, very often, and as an investor, all of our investors have provided us with a lot of insight as to what makes sense and what are some strategic moves that we would not have seen being so closely integrated with this process. Okay, next up and final presentation, Cactus. So some of you may have heard of Siri, okay? If you haven't heard of Siri, then I don't know what box you've been living in, okay? Cactus is not Siri. Many people thought it was Siri at first. But as Mike Butcher, who many of you may or may not have heard of TechCrunch. TechCrunch is the equivalent of The Economist for technology. So you've heard of The Economist. TechCrunch is the publication. Yeah, I don't know what the crowd has been reading lately. So TechCrunch, the European editor of TechCrunch, paid us a visit a week ago and sat down and listened to all of these pitches, and he gave them feedback. He gave feedback to every one of the startups. He gave feedback to Cactus by telling them, if Cactus succeeds, then I can connect Cactus to Siri, and then I don't have to think anymore. Okay. And I think I'm going to leave the floor to Nedi, who's going to introduce you to Cactus.
Okay, hello everyone. As Samer said, I'm Nedi Shumali, co-founder of Cactus. Cactus is next generation's personal assistant. It gives you all the steps you need to know exactly what to do, where to go, and when to reach your objectives. So what are people doing today to organize their lives? If they have a complex task to do, they will usually ask around or browse the internet for websites like eHow, or Google, or WikiHow to get the information they need. Next, they will take this information and input it into whatever tool they use to organize their lives, whether it's a pen and paper or a to-do list application. Well, this whole process is inefficient. And Cactus comes today to solve the problem of inefficient to-dos by simply doing it all for you, from showing you how to reach your objectives to organizing your whole days around them in one single step. So Cactus is the marketplace for to-dos. It is where you can download any to-do, guideline, process, procedure, or schedule that you need. It's very simple. You find your objective on the Cactus marketplace, you download it, and you add it to your calendar. What used to be a complex procedure has now been broken down into simple steps and added to your agenda. We call them CACTs. CACTs are to-do lists on steroids. They are the super to-do list. They have all the information displayed in very interactive but yet very simple steps. And steps are then divided into separate days according to your schedule and depending on their duration and their interdependency. So what do you have in our stores today? You have more than 300 CACTs, varying from diet programs to outdoor activities to visa applications, everything. We have a team building hundreds of to-dos a month, and starting June, users will be able to create and to share their own CACTs. So our app today is available for free on the App Store. As a marketplace, we generate our revenues from different models. We have today more than 1,000 users that are downloading the app daily. We are the top productivity app in 5 countries and among the most downloaded apps in more than 10 countries. So as to our business model, we generate revenues as a marketplace from taking 30% out of every CAC bought through our stores. So there is an investment opportunity here, and we have one ticket for $50,000 up for grab. Well, before being a product, Cactus is a team that combines passion, expertise, and vision. Bassam Saif, our technology officer, has worked as a computer engineer in multinational companies in the KSA. Leah Dunya, our creative officer, is a specialist in corporate identity and web design. As for me, Nadi Shumaili, I'm responsible of the operation and content in Cactus, and this represents my third venture as an entrepreneur. So Cactus is the next generation's personal assistant. You have created and entered a new untapped global market. We have the innovative product, we have a solid and talented team, we have loyal customers. What we need today is an investor that will share our vision of making Cactus the world's #1 destination for to-dos. So on this note, let me show you how it works. The core of our app is the CAC store, where you can download and add the CAC that you need. If you don't find what you want from the homepage, you can browse the categories. Today, categories go from governmental formalities to outdoors activities or cooking recipes. And what's even better is that you can ask Cactus directly for the CAC that you need, using text, or if you want, you can use speech recognition. Like, Cactus, I want a visa to the UK. Cactus Smart Filtering will pick to you the CAC that you need and will recommend to you other CACs and other lists. Here, for example, let's press on UK visa application. Here, I will see all the steps I need to actually apply for that application. I press on Add to my CAC, and when I do, I get a date. Cactus asks me when I want to start working on this task. I say I want it next week, let's say. Now, all of the steps have been added to my agenda. And as you can see, the steps are divided into different days depending on their duration and their interdependency. Every time I finish a task, I just swipe it to mark it as complete. And let's say I want to submit my documents today. I press on it. I get all the details regarding this submission. I press on where. And when I do, I get a map showing me where I am right now and where I should be. If I press on time, in this example, I will get the opening hours of the embassy. And of course, I can always leave a feedback, leave a comment in order to personalize this task to fit my needs. So thank you.
Okay.
Okay, the #1 question is, how do you generate content and how do you validate the authenticity of this content?
Okay, thank you. So now, at first, we have 2 ways of generating content today. The first is we have created a team that is going and spreading around embassies, around industries, to get the information they need and input it into Cactus. The other thing we're doing today is that we created partnerships with universities who are, from a top-down approach, giving us the information for the internal procedures. Now, as I said in June and for later, in order to scale even more, our users themselves will be able to post the to-dos that they want on Cactus, and they will also have to create a profile so that when I am downloading a Cact, I will know who uploaded this to see if this person is relevant to the content that I need, so that I can choose to download it, to pay for it, or not to.
I think, this is where I might see problems, is that content is not generated in terms of crawler, in terms of search engines, in terms of, it is human made, which will create problems in scalability.
Okay.
So how do you address that?
Yeah, it is human made, and we want it to be human made because we want people to take advantage of the experience of others. So if I went through a procedure, I will write how I did it. If I did an event, I will write how I did it, so that someone else that is similar to me, that matches my profile, we have the same problems and we know how I had to overcome it. We don't want it to be like a search engine or something just technological. We want the human approach to be involved in it. And in order to scale, as I said, we are the only marketplace for to-dos, and we are able to scale globally. And with this scaling, we will have a lot of content generated by us and by the user themselves, and also by institutions who will want to explain to users how to use their products, or that will want to expand more on Cactus.
Okay. Revenue? How do you generate revenue?
As I said, we generate revenues by taking 30% out of every cat purchased on Cactus. And these cats can be procedure, they could be diet schedules, they could be fitness programs, they can be anything that is date related or that give guidelines to users on what to do. And the prices will usually be between 20 cents up to $5 per cat.
You don't think you will ever sell the app?
It's an option, definitely, because the way we see it, we're going to have
a demo version free, and then you just sell the app.
Okay. So to sell the actual app, well, to tell you, we studied the market, and we saw that today in the App Store model, 70% of the whole revenues come from in-app purchases, and that's what we are doing in this model. But in parallel, we have worked on an Arabic version that I will be able to show it to everyone outside, which is Cactus in Arabic, in the Arabic language, that is destinated for the Saudi market, for the GCC market, and that one will be paid. So they will have to pay for it in order to download it. So we're going to test the two models, and there is no barrier of switching from one model to the other. On the store, it's just one click.
When we talked about content, you mentioned something about people volunteering their own checklists and so on. You mentioned also the universities. But the content is volunteered by people who are Cactus members and who have done this, going through the UK visa, for instance. How can you...
Well, by volunteers, do you mean the users that are uploading?
Yes.
Well, I wouldn't call it volunteer because they get 50% of the revenues also. So it's in their own interest to write the best list possible, to get the highest reviews, to get the highest comment. In order to get the maximum number of downloads, they will get 50% of it, we will take 30% of it.
What's the average ticket?
It's $0.2, 20 cent average ticket.
Have you considered approaching e-governments or just government in general? I mean, when you think that a government has between 800 to 1,200 public-facing services, depending on the form and type of government that we have in this part of the world, there are a lot of services while you're waiting for e-governments to mature that would greatly benefit from something like this. And typically, while they might not have all the funds necessary to automate and convert their services from brick and mortar services to e-services, this is a great intermediary measure.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly, as you say. And before reaching that level, we decided to start by targeting institutions. So instead of e-government, to go to universities to study how the whole process goes. Like when we went to a specific university, we saw that the problem they had is that they have no personnel to take in charge all of this information. So we created a bridge between the Cactus team and the university by providing our own personnel to go and consult them on how to write their own cacts. So now we know how the institution will want to provide their cacts, and I think that today we weren't ready 6 months ago, but today we're ready to go to governments, for the Lebanese government, Egyptian government, any government in the region, and why not outside, to go and to offer our services now that we are aware of the whole procedure. Thank you.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, so I think my question is building on the last question as well, but it's the other side. It's are you making your money selling the Cactus app or selling each individual cact? And if it's the latter, what evidence do you have that there's customer appetite to pay 20 cents to $5 per cact? That's the price range, right? You said.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to clarify. We will be selling the cacts in our store, so not the app. For the Arab version, it's the app. For the current English version, it is the cacts themselves. And answering your second question, we have seen online that people are ready to pay up to $50 a month to get consulting for example, diet schedule, to get gym programs. They will pay up to $50 to get these services. So I'm pretty sure they will pay up to $5 to get them on Cactus, where in addition to all the other services, it will sync to your own calendar, and it will give you all the reminders that you need, and that you don't have to think about it anymore. It will come. The schedule will come to you, and this service can only be provided by Cactus. So we will be pricing less than the competitors, and we will be giving more services.
Okay, just I hope you all made the connection between not having to think when they connect Cactus to Siri. So thank you. If there are no further questions. So I'm just going to take one last minute of your time, and then there's some refreshments, and the guys are ready for any further questions. This is the first cycle. We expect to do a cycle a year at least. We're hoping next year to do 10 companies. This year to do 10 companies. Wow. Okay. We started off with 8. We believe we've figured out how to do it, and we've figured out how to do it successfully. Some of you may agree, some of you may disagree with the valuations. This is not, we're not here to negotiate on their behalf. This is up to you to come and discuss it with the startups, and the startups to convince you or not that this is what they are worth. We believe that we have spent enough time with them to make sure that none of them are being unreasonable. So we can say very comfortably that we have vetted their models to a certain extent. And we would love to see some engagement from your part to these young startups. We're not expecting anyone to go and drop $10 million in any of them now, but we are expecting you to make an effort to turn these really impressive startups. And I'm telling you, this is what I saw in New York on stage in TechCrunch Disrupt. They were of this caliber, not better, some of them worse. So this is really impressive stuff. If you want, I'll send you links as to what's happening in New York and San Francisco so that you realize how impressive these guys are. It's kind of sad to have to say this, but let's support them with dollars, because I think we've supported them enough with words. Okay, so go talk to them, strike deals, help them open up doors to governments, help them get that first round of funding, because I can tell you everyone who was on stage is worthy of some further funding to further prove their model and become a fully viable business. Thank you. Okay. Thanks, everyone.